Greetings, everybody. Boru Aboye. Boye. Chill. Greetings to all the good people. Hope all is well with you. I'm gonna go live today and share a little bit of wisdom and insights. It's been a busy morning, but you know it's important to share the wisdom and the insights. We got some really great teachings that were shared with us in the most recent Ita Dogun, and I think they're very pertinent to what we're living right now. So I want to do what I can to, keep paying it forward. My technology, I'm just trying to test it out here. It's sort of dark on this side. So I hope all is well with you. I'm just going to give folks a little time to join us. Please bear with me and enjoy the lovely sounds of my good brother Kunde from Dahomey, while we just collect our thoughts, wrap up the day with some insights, and hopefully get our grounding and be able to set our intentions for the evening. You know what I mean? Sleep well and wake up tomorrow morning ready to make magic again. So right now we'll let Kunde let us give us a little Dahomian lullaby while we let people join us. Just take a couple of minutes to enjoy the sounds. Buying dead. Wish I could get closer on the side. I know. Good afternoon, Fire Day. How you doing? This is going to be a little bit of a rehash for you all. Dupewe ka sound Ellison. Bawani. Ilenko. Ishenko. Blessings to everybody. Greetings to you and your family members who I know you're getting plenty of contact with right now. It's real. All right. Yeah, we'll just give it another minute and we'll be ready to dive in. Just one more minute. Welcome. Greetings to all the folks. I see you all filing in little by little and filing out little by little. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Blessings. I don't know if those were scorpions or rings. You guys are getting creative with the emojis. Are those rings? What are those? Golden scorpions? Shooting stars. Nice. All right, I love it. I love it. So that's my good brother Kunde from Dahomey, singing that sweet Dahomey lullaby. Kunde is a great brother. I haven't seen him in such a long time. I'm gonna have to go and search for him, or I know some people who I know who would be able to tell me where he is. But blessings to you on this fine day of Wednesday. Aboru aboye, aboye aboshishe. Blessings to your homes, blessings to your loved ones, your friends and your families. I'm hoping and praying that in this time of great concern and uncertainty, that your spirits are being kept high, that your focus is razor sharp, and that your will is totally committed on achieving the greatness that your destiny chose for you in the prenatal state. I want you to, just no matter what happens, no matter what you hear, no matter what you see, no matter what goes on in your environment, your destiny is a good destiny. You chose good things. You chose light. You chose love. You chose victory. You chose all of the things that would not only allow you to be of service to yourself, but you chose the things that would allow you to uplift other people's lives and to shine light in other people's lives. So keep that, keep that with you. Know that within the depths of your heart. Have no doubt about the positive influence that you have the capacity to bring into your own life and into other people's lives. Today, I want to share this is I guess the second lesson on leadership in a crisis. And it's so important because as I look around and I try to gauge where people are and what people need in the midst of all this confusion and uncertainty, it just becomes more and more clear that we don't have enough um, spokesmen for for visionary change. This is a time that we have to address and take very seriously, but it's also a time that we have to create. History's not over. History's not over. We're making history every single day with every single decision. This is historical. Us being here right now, having this conversation under the guises of Ifa and Orisha lifestyle, this is history making. When have we ever faced a global calamity such as this and been able to contextualize that experience on our own terms? Right now, we're able to engage in this conversation with our brothers and sisters in Brazil, in Cuba, in the Dominican Republic, in Nigeria, in Dahomey, Trinidad, all over the world. We're able to talk to one another, and we're able to compare notes. We're able to, give one another some orientation and some context for our experience. So it's been a fantastic experience for me to talk to other owls in other parts of the world and get their input. And like I said before, the Ita Dogun came through on Sunday, and we were on the phone with each other. We were sending messages to one another to say, what did you see? What did you see? And then how does this compare back to what the Odu that you saw at your New Year? Because even though we have different New Year cycles, we all, have a cycle. And so we were reflecting, and there's, consensus. It's like, oh yeah, we saw something. There was a flag. We didn't anticipate this, and we didn't have dates and precise information, that kind of intel, but we did have some inkling, and we were preparing ourselves for something. And that's good to know. That's good for us to know, to compare notes and say that, hey, you know what, the more we communicate and the more we're on the same page with each other, the more preventative measures we can take going forward. And so again, I want to reiterate my intention here is to make sure that all of my people come out of this experience better off. I want you to come emerge from this experience with precious jewels. I want you to have something in your hand, in your mind, in your heart that will allow you to go further than you would have been able to go otherwise. That's really very important to me. I don't want you to treat this as just downtime. I don't want you to treat this as a time that you're just hanging on for dear life. I hope I just don't go under. Don't panic. Don't be caught up in the wave of anxiety. You know, focus, right? And the way that you get that focus is through consulting Ifa. All right. And so when we consulted Ifa on the Itadogun, we saw Ogbeunle, Ogbeonwanri. And so immediately following that, I shared a live and I talked about 7 complete lessons on leadership in crisis because Ogbeunle went straight to the point. Everything that it was consistent with what we are being told by the entire globe, which is this is the time for you to stay home. This is the time for you to be close to your family. And Ogbeunle literally means Ogbe, stay home. Ogbe, mind your home. Ogbe, pay attention to your home. And so that's what we're actually doing. And this is part of the home. I'm in your homes right now. I'm at home and you're at home. And so we're sharing this message that's divinely inspired about the spiritual ramifications of us doing exactly what we're doing, which is being at home. So yesterday, the first lesson that I shared of 7 was the lesson of a reality check. Okay. And so did anybody give any thought? Did you go back and reflect on the reality check? Let me know. What did you come up with when you thought about the reality check? When you started to examine not only what's happening in the big picture, but you started to ask yourself, how am I a part of what happened? How did I position myself in a way that made this reality possible for me? Okay. And you could be happy with what's going on. You could be real, you know what I mean? You could be perfectly positioned. But what did you do? What decisions did you make to position yourself to be, in an advantageous place in your life in this situation? Likewise, if it's not the way you'd like it to be, what decisions did you make to position yourself to be disadvantaged at this point? Right? That's lesson number 1, reality check. Okay, how did you get here? Lesson number 2 is all about delegating authority. All right, as a leader, you're going to be prone to overdoing it. You may want to just do more than other people are doing. That's part of being a leader. You do more than other people are doing. The average person only does 4 things a day, but as the leader, you do 24 things a day. And you do 24 things on weekends, and you do 24 things on holidays. You do 24 things on your child's birthday. You just that's a characteristic of leadership. You're doing and you're doing and you're doing and you're doing. But in a crisis, which we're in right now, the smartest thing for you to do is to unburden yourself. Unburden yourself. Hey, Alan. Kushel, Ekwajometa. Yes. I love it. We will follow up with that. When you have a crisis and you got to meet that crisis, the last thing you want to do is overburden yourself. All right. And when we cast Ifa for Ogbeunle, Ifa went right into that and gave us a great poignant message about the downside. What happens when you don't delegate authority? What happens when you overdo it? When you get so caught up with trying to do everything yourself? What happens? What are the consequences of that? How do you suffer? How do other people suffer? Okay? And so when you think about it, we shared this verse last night in the study group, and I thought about it some more this morning, and it made me reflect on, our lifestyle here in the West. When you go to school, If you're the smartest kid in the class, you get penalized for sharing. You can't, if you come up with the answer, you can't tell the other kids the answer. That's called cheating. And the other kids can't get the other answer from you either. They can't, look on your paper, because that's called cheating. And from that point, we start cultivating this idea that the only thing that I can do of value is something that I do for myself and by myself. I can't share it with you. And that's how we get orientated, right? We get conditioned to be independent and isolated from other people, even if they're our friends. We like them, they like us, and we don't mind sharing. But then as we become adults, and we have to start working with other people, then it can become kind of tricky because we have to share in order to be successful. We have to be able to not only share, but also create opportunities for other people to shine. We got to create other opportunities for people to do what they do better than what we do, right? And that's how we're successful as adults. That's how you get the advantage. That's how you accomplish anything. You've got to work hand in hand with other people. But you got these habits that say I got to do it by myself. I've got to work on my own. I can't let other people be a part of my success or my secret. Excuse me. And so I want you to think about what are the things that have conditioned you to think about being a solo operator. What kind of benefits do you get from doing things all by yourself and on your own? Right? Well, some of it is you get credit, you get acknowledgement, you get a lot of kudos being the one who did it. You get a gold star for achievement. Okay, and when things don't go well, then you get criticized. You take the fall for things that don't go well, right? But probably in some point in your life, you also have experienced what it's like for people to underestimate you. You probably have experienced what it's like for people to not only underestimate you, but doubt you. And even beyond that, you may have even experienced where people not only doubted you, but they were actively working against you. They were trying to stop you from doing something. Have you had that experience? Where people either they didn't believe in you, where they questioned you, where they doubted you, where they were really actively working to stop you. They were trying to prevent you from being able to do things. Have you had that experience? I've had all those experiences. I've been the underdog. I've been criticized. I've been, ignored. I've been conspired against. I've been actively, people have actively tried to wage war against me. So I understand what that's like and how it feels. And it sucks, there's nothing nice about it. But in all those instances, when people question you, when they doubt you, when they don't believe in you, when they're conspiring against you, when they're actively fighting against you, there's that something inside of you that says, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to prove them wrong. Right? I'm going to make sure that they and everybody knows that they were wrong and I was right. Our ego. That's our ego. That's the downside of our ego. It's vanity, That's our vanity that makes us want to say, I'm going to prove them wrong, which is slightly different from another part of the ego, which is proving that I can do, demonstrating what I am capable of. See, that's different. In the beginning, in the most pure expression of your natural gifts and talents, it's important that you demonstrate to yourself what you're capable of. Okay? You want to prove, like when I remember when all my children were little, you go to the park and every 45 seconds they're saying, Baba, look, Baba, look, Baba, look, right? Because they want to prove that they can do something. They're not trying to prove me wrong or anybody else wrong. They just want to demonstrate. There's a sense of pride and accomplishment in being able to demonstrate that you're capable, that you can accomplish, that you can do things, right? That's a pure expression. And that's something that I want to, differentiate before we go into the lesson. It's a good thing for you to want to demonstrate to yourself and to the world that you're capable. It's important that you are able to demonstrate that you have viable talents, that you have been blessed with something and you know how to use it. All right. That's part of your sacred service. You've got to know that you can do things. It becomes problematic when your goal shifts to wanting to prove somebody else wrong. Okay? That's a problem. And that's where I want you to separate in this part where we're living in the midst of a crisis. There's no room in this environment for you to be trying to prove people wrong. There's no room in this environment for you to be trying to demonstrate that they're the bad guy. There's something wrong with them. That's not going to help us right now. Right now, this is crucial. This is like we need to be only focused on being very clear that I have something valuable to add. I have something that can help. I have something that can make it easier for you. I have something that can make the world the way more clear for you. I have something that you may find useful. And I'm willing to show you why it's useful. I'm willing to share it with you so that you can, make use of it and improve your life or improve the lives of other people. That's the impulse that I want you to tap into and rely upon from this moment going forward. Now, what happens when we get the two mixed up? When we lose sight of trying to make a contribution and we get stuck on trying to prove a point, trying to prove people wrong? That's what this verse of Ogbeunle is going to demonstrate for us. This was a time where Orunmila was celebrating his annual festival. That's his Odunfa. Every year we celebrate Arifa festival, or if you have a different Orisha, you celebrate your Oshun festival, you celebrate your Egbe festival, etc. But Orunmila is celebrating his Odunfa. And before he gets to the point where he's celebrating his Odunfa, Orunmila, there had been tension in Orunmila's family because Orunmila is a public servant. And so his family is, they're feeling a little bit neglected. They feel like Orunmila is being unfair because Orunmila dedicates so much time and so much energy to tending to the people in the world, the outside world. And they're saying, Orunmila, this is not fair, right? So as a leader, when you have people who are close to you, they are come close to you because of the value that you add to their lives. But as your circle continues to grow and your influence continues to grow, well, they have to share you, and you have to figure out ways to be able to be present for the people who are close to you, as well as to the people who are not so close to you but still need your services. And so Orunmila's family was letting him know that they didn't feel that he was honoring that balance. Orunmila didn't agree. He told them that they had to be more reasonable. And as they're talking about it back and forth, it degenerated into an argument. And at the end of the argument, Orunmila's family went this way and Orunmila went that way. He said he didn't want anything to do with his family, and his family said they didn't want anything to do with him. And so that's how Orunmila was going into his Ifa festival. The only problem was, for all of the years before, Orunmila had been celebrating this festival with his family. They were hand in hand with helping him to complete this festival. But Orunmila, who went from wanting to, make a contribution to the community, wanting to be of service to the community, he shifted to wanting to prove that he did not need the help and the support of his family. And so as he's going through the process of executing this festival, he's, working overtime. This is like so much more difficult than it's ever been before. But he won't swallow his pride to go and, apologize to his family because he wants to prove them wrong. He wants to prove I can execute this festival without your help. And so he does. Lo and behold, he does. All of the 401 divinities were there. There was drumming, there was singing, there was dancing. It was everything was perfect. And as the party got to the high frequency, the Egungun people became possessed. Somebody became possessed with in the Egungun. And when that happens, they bring out their Atori whips and they start whipping the people. They whip each other really. And then if anybody's too close by to the masquerade, they're whipping. So Oromila was so excited because that was a manifestation of the spirits accepting his offerings. So Oromila went to go and dash the Egungun priest. He was going to go give them money. But one of the priests misunderstood Oromila's gesture, and he grabbed Oromila and started to choke him. And then when Oromila fought back, they threw him on the ground and they started to beat Oromila. And they beat Oromila bad. And they were beating Oromila to the point that he was knocked unconscious. His family stood right across the street. Oromila's family saw the whole thing, and they just crossed their arms and said, "Isn't that something? Oromila is getting beat down at his own festival." Eshu appeared at that moment. He says, "What are y'all doing? You see Oromila's over there taking a beating. You got to help him." They said, "Why should we help him?" He said he didn't want anything to do with us. We offered to help. He said he didn't want our help. He said he could do it on his own. He's doing it. We're going to let him do it. Eshu said, "But you can't do that. You can't do that." He gave them an analogy, or he gave them a proverb. He said, if an owner of a horse, if a family has someone, if there's a member of the family who's the owner of a horse, and that person neglects to take care of the horse, if the horse dies, then the family can no longer say that they are horse owners, which basically means that if you have something of prestige and you don't take care of it, then even though it's technically somebody else's responsibility, your whole family is going to lose because you won't be able to say that we have this in our family. It's like, you got a child who's graduating a semester away from graduating from Yale, and they're getting cold feet and they said they can't make it. Well, no, you got to help that child make it through because you'll be able that's a badge of honor for your family. Say, no, we got a graduate of Yale. So everybody bands together to make sure that junior graduates from Yale. Same kind of an idea. So they agreed. They said that's true. We do hold Oromila in high esteem. We do recognize Oromila as a major contributor. Oromila is an important member of the society. So okay, yes, we're going to go help him. So they went over and they intervened. They shut down the fight and they took Oromila home. They cleaned him up. They straightened him out. By the time Oromila woke up, the party was over. Everything's cleaned up and everybody was gone. But he couldn't even believe that his family had finally come along to help him out. And they, Eshu then showed up and he talked to Oromila. He says, Oromila, this is your fault. This is your fault. You caused this problem yourself. You had no business with trying to do that festival on your own. All you had to do was go and apologize to your family. All you had to do was go and ask them for help and they would have helped you. But you got so caught up with trying to prove that you could do it on your own that you did it on your own, but you didn't realize what it was going to cost you to do it all on your own. So to compensate for his error, Oromila staged a whole nother festival. And this one was closed. It was just for him and his family. All right. So there, Ifa is telling us a couple of very important things. Number one, delegate authority. Don't get caught up with trying to prove other people wrong. This is not the time for you to be the lone wolf. This is not the time for you to be standing on your own and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. Make sure that you have the help and the support of your close loved ones, your family in particular. Reach out to your family. Make sure that your brother's okay. Make sure that your sister's okay. Call your mother, call your father, call your people, and make sure that they are in good condition. All right. Make sure that what you need to be able to do what you do, if your family can help you, ask them for help. Let them help you. Let them support you. Let them help you help other people. Okay? That's one very important thing. All right? And so for today's lesson, Um, what I want you to do is I want you to think about how you can delegate, how you can start to share some of the workload that you have. How can you involve other people in solving the problems of your household? How can you involve other people in solving the problems with your children? If it's educating your child, if it's shopping and making sure you have all the materials you need in your house, if it's cleaning your house, if it's if it's just having somebody to talk to and give you a reality check and keep you grounded in healthy thoughts, whatever it is that you need, don't be so proud that you refuse to outreach your hand and ask for help, ask for support, and also give people something to do. Because also there is that reality that there are people around you who want to help. They want to see you succeed, even under these circumstances. They want to see you move forward, and they want to see all of your needs get met. So, don't let your pride prevent you from asking for help and support from the people who are close to you. All right. So that's lesson number 2. Spread the wealth, distribute the workload, ask for help, delegate authority. And that will help you be in alignment with the teachings of Ogbeunle as we saw in the Itatogun on this Sunday. So that's my contribution for today. I'm hopeful that the message was useful to you, was insightful to you. And if you have any questions or insights, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to respond as soon as possible. Blessings to you, and I will look forward to talking to you with another lesson tomorrow. Bye for now. Odabo.